Greetings, math lovers. Today we'll be calculating the mean, variance, and standard deviation of a group to distribution. Right, so take a minute just to write down the formulas shown here. You may pause the video to do so. Now you'll be given this table. Well, actually you'll be given the first two columns of this table, the scores and the frequencies. Now the scores 1 to 10, 11 to 20, these are called our classes. And the frequency represents the number of persons scoring within these ranges. Now this could represent, for example, a test marked out of a maximum 60 marks. So what the table will be showing is that 3 persons would have gotten between 1 and 10, 8 persons would have gotten between 11 and 20, 9 persons between 21 to 30, and so forth. Now, the other columns we will be required to create and label. The first step in this process is to actually know how many persons are involved in this study. So we calculate the total for the frequency column. So we add 3 and 8, 11, 20, and so forth. And the total here comes up to 50, which tells us that there are 50 persons included in this study. Now, the next step in this process is actually to calculate what we call the midpoint of each class or each range. The midpoint is basically a single number that will represent the entire range, 1 to 10, 11 to 20, or any of these ranges. And the number we'll use is the average of the two endpoints. So for the first midpoint, 1 plus 10, 11, divided by 2, that would give us 5.5. For the second one, 11 plus 20, that's 31. 31 divided by 2 gives us 15.5. 21 plus 30, that's 51. 51 divided by 2, that gives us 25.5. And we continue this process till we have midpoints for each range or for each row. Now, after calculating your midpoints, you'll notice that they increase in increments of 10. So we have 5.5, then 15.5, 25.5, and so forth, similar to the ranges. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we're going up by amounts of 10. So if this pattern is different from the pattern of the increase in the ranges, then something is wrong. And we need to recheck the calculations. Now, the first thing we're going to need to calculate from here on is our mean. So you'll notice at the top of the column for the mean, we have the top part of the formula that you previously wrote down for the mean, which is F representing frequency times Xi representing the midpoint, right? The only thing we left out was the summation sign, right? The summation sign simply means add up all of these results, and we'll do that for the sum, right? So we do not need to put the total sign or summation sign up here. We simply put the other rest of the top part of the formula. So for row 1, it's frequency. The frequency here is 3 times the midpoint, and the midpoint here is 5.5. So we'll have 3 times 5.5, which gives us 16.5. For the second row, we have 8 times 15.5, and that gives 124. And of course, we continue that process till we have calculated F times Xi for each row. So the frequency times the midpoint for each row. And then, as the total of as the top part of the formula says for the mean, we find the sum of F times Xi. So we add all of these. So we have 16.5 plus 124 plus 229.5 plus 497 plus 318.5 plus 499.5, and that gives us 1,685. Right? So we find the sum, and the next step is to actually just go to our formula. So the formula says the mean is equal to On this mu, this is a Greek sign spelled mu, which is the Greek symbol for the mean. So the mean is equal to summation of f times xi divided by the total of the frequencies. So we already found out that the summation of f times xi is 1685. We also knew that the summation of the frequencies was 50. So 1685 divided by 50 gives 33.7. We write units here because we don't know the actual unit of measurement that is being used. So we just put units in a general sense. If these were centimeters, we would have put centimeters. If it was miles, we would have put miles. So that's our mean. And we can note it now at the bottom of the table. So our mean is 33.7. So having gotten the mean, the next step is to calculate our variance. And you'll notice at the top of the column, we have the top part of the formula for the variance. We left out the summation sign, just like we did for the mean. But we have frequency times, in brackets, midpoint, minus the mean, all squared. So we're going to do that for each row. And then at the end of the row, we're going to actually do the summation to get the total at the top part of that formula. So let's start. The frequency for the first row is 3. So we're going to have 3 times, and then in brackets, we have midpoint, and the midpoint here is 5.5, minus the mean. The mean we know to be 33.7. Close the bracket, square. Now, in solving this, we can actually do the brackets first. So we could say on our calculators, 5.5 minus 33.7, all squared. Well, sorry, let's start again. We'd say 5.5 minus 33.7 equal. Then we would square the result, equal, and then we multiply by 3. We could also have done it this way, where we just enter the entire information as it's shown on the screen. So we would say 3 multiplied by, open bracket, 5.5 minus 33.7, close bracket, and then squared. And that would give us 2385.72. Please do the calculation to ensure you're getting the same answer. So on to row 2. So we start with the frequency. Frequency here is 8 multiplied by, open bracket, the midpoint xi, which is 15.5, minus the mean, all squared. And that should give 2649.92. And we continue that process for the entire row, for the entire column, and we get all the results. Next step is to calculate the total. So we add all of the values. 2385.72 plus 2649.92 plus 605.16 plus 45.36 plus 974.68 plus 4277.16, which gives us 10,938. Right? So since we're here, before we actually calculate the variance, let's just do our cumulative frequency. And for the cumulative frequencies, we're just totaling as we go along the rows. So for the first row, we only have 3. So we just note it. For the second row, we have another 8. So the cumulative frequency here is 3 plus 8, which is 11. In the third row, we have another 9 persons. So up to this point, we have 11 plus 9, 20. Next row, 14. 20 plus 14, 34. The next row has another 7. So 34 plus 7 gives 41. And then the last row has 9 persons. So we say 41 plus 9, which gives 50. Now, if the total here disagrees with the total here, then we have made an error. So please always check for that. Now, to calculate our variance, we know the top part of the formula is equal to 10,938, and we know the summation of the frequencies is equal to 50. That divided by 50 gives 2218.76. We write squared units because the variance is always the square of whatever unit is being used. So if it was centimeters, it would be centimeters squared. If it was miles, it would be miles squared. This sign O with a little dash is a Greek symbol called sigma, S-I-G-M-A. And sigma squared is the variance, while sigma by itself would have been the standard deviation. So for the standard deviation, which would be represented by sigma, it's the square root of the variance, and the square root of 218.76 is 14.79. Again, we write units because we're being general. If it was centimeters, we would have just written centimeters. If it was miles, then that's what we would have written. All right, so have fun with these calculations, and we'll be speaking again very shortly.